Hello everybody. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. So today we'll start Unit 2 Kinematics 2, and those are the lesson you can see on the screen that we'll cover today. These are vectors in 2 dimension and describing motion in 2 dimensions. Let's start with vector in 2 dimensions. So objective of this lesson is you will perform vector analysis in 1 or 2 dimension. That's the objective of this lesson. So I hope most of you are already familiar with Pythagorean theorem. So we'll talk a little bit about Pythagorean theorem in the beginning, and then we'll talk about 3 different trigonometric functions. Let's start with Pythagorean theorem. So if we have a right angle triangle, as you can see on the screen, let me write it. Give me 1 second. Okay. If we have a right angle triangle, here your C is your hypotenuse, and A and B are other two sides. One is opposite and another is adjacent. In that case, hypotenuse square is always equal to sum of square of other two sides. Okay, hypotenuse square is always equal to sum of other two sides of a triangle. And then for this theorem, the triangle always should be a right angle triangle. Okay, this is all about Pythagorean theorem. Let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk a little bit about trigonometric function. Okay, before starting trigonometric function, I want to clarify how to identify adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. If we have a right angle triangle, you can see here on the screen, always look for two angles. So this angle that is read as theta, and then we do have a right angle. Okay, the side that has one angle and another angle is right angle, that side is called adjacent. Okay, that side is called adjacent. The side that only has right angle or 90 degrees opposite. The side that is exactly opposite to right angle is hypotenuse. So in that way you can identify adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. And you can use this mnemonic SOH, CAH, TOA to remember the definition of different trigonometric function. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, SOH. S means sines, O means opposite, H means hypotenuse. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, and C for cosine, A for adjacent, and H for hypotenuse. Similarly, tan theta is opposite over adjacent. T stand for tan theta, O stand for opposite, and A stand for adjacent. So that in that way, you can remember trigonometric functions. But whenever you do your homework, assignment, or test, you can always have a formula sheet. Okay, you don't have to remember those functions. If you remember it, it would be great. Even if you do not remember it, it's fine. Okay, let me lock this. Okay. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay. Now let's solve this problem. Okay, now we'll use the concept that we have just learned to solve some of the problems. Let's do this. A car travels 30.25 km due west and then drives 7.50 km up a hill that inclines 50 degrees. What is the vertical displacement of the car? Okay, at first I'll make a diagram. So the car travels 30.25 due west. Okay, this is a straight line. Okay, and then 7.50. So this is 30.25 kilometer. This is 7.50. I'll write km per kilometer and makes an angle of 15.0 degrees. The question is, what is the vertical displacement? So we have to find this vertical displacement. And this is right angle. Let us suppose vertical displacement is A. Okay, vertical displacement is A. H is your hypotenuse. Okay, H is your hypotenuse. Now I'll make another diagram where we only have that right angle triangle. Okay. This is 90 degree. This is 15.0 degree, and its hypotenuse is your 7.50 kilometer. Okay. Now here our goal is to find vertical displacement, that is A. Okay, that is A in our case. And then A is, let's identify, H is hypotenuse, A is opposite. Now we have to check back our trigonometric function and identify which function will include opposite and hypotenuse. Let's go back. So you can see sine theta will include opposite and hypotenuse. So we have to use sine theta. Okay. That means sine of 15 degree. I'll just write 15 degree. Okay, it does not matter. 15 degree is your opposite over hypotenuse. So let's write all those values. Sine 15 degree. Opposite is your A. We have to identify that one. And then 7.50 is your hypotenuse. And I'll write the unit at the end. Okay. So to solve for A, you have to multiply both sides by 7.50. So your A becomes 7.50 times sine 15 degree. Sine 15 degree. Now, if you have any calculator from where you can calculate trigonometric function, that's fine. Okay. Otherwise, let's use Desmos. Okay. So we are calculating here 7.50 times sine 15. So I'll show you how to do in Desmos. I'll keep it. Let's go to Desmos. Okay. I'll erase everything, and then I want to start from the beginning. Okay. So that you will have an idea. Let's cross this one as well. What happened? My computer is hanged, I think. So let me see, try it again. Okay, now I can do it, I think. Go to, oops. Okay, sorry for that. Technical error, desmos.com. Okay, and then we are calculating, let me see, 7.50 times sine 15. Okay. First step, go to your setting. Look, by default, your angle is in radian. Convert into degrees. Okay. Now 7.50 and then times. So use that keypad. Okay. Times sine 15 degree, and then to find sine, go to functions. Okay, you can find all those trigonometric function here. Sine and then 15. So we got 1.94 kilometers. Okay, let me come back. 1.94 kilometers. So in that way, you can calculate trigonometric functions using value of trigonometric function using Desmos. So our answer is 1.94 kilometers. So that is the vertical displacement. Kilometers. So the correct choice is B. B for beta. Okay. I hope you understand this problem. Let me know if you do not follow it. So let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk a little bit about application of trigonometric function. Okay. So let us suppose if we are pulling any object or pushing any object. Okay. In that case, we have to resolve force. Okay. Force to a horizontal as well as vertical direction. But in our typical case, we want to find the components of velocity in X and Y direction. So we'll use exactly similar concept that we use to find out sine, cosine, and tangent theta. And then using those formula, we can find out velocity, magnitude of velocity in X direction, that is Bx is your B cosine theta. Let me explain how did we get that one. So cosine theta is your, you can see from here, adjacent over, cosine theta is your adjacent over hypotenuse. Here it's your adjacent, bx is your adjacent, and b is your hypotenuse. So in that way, we got bx is your b cosine theta, and similarly by is b sine theta. Now let's use that concept and we'll solve that problem. A force of 6 Newton on a car's bumpers make an angle of 28.5 degrees with the ground, and then we have to find out what is the vertical component of this force vector. Okay, let's do it. 6 Newton, we do a force that is 6 Newton. 6 Newton, and per Newton, okay, I'll just write the short form. Makes an angle of 28.5 degrees to the ground. This is the angle, 28.5 degree. Okay. And that is think like right angle triangle. This is vertical, horizontal, okay. Now what is the vertical component of this force? So vertical component is here, that is your f of y, f of x, and the same for fy. This one is also. So whenever we talk about vertical component, we'll use that formula. And this one is for velocity, okay, b sine theta. But here, vertical component fy is your force times sine of that angle. And if you, for any reason, if you get confused, you can do like that also. So you can see here, let's use sine 28.5 because we need to find, we need to figure it out vertical component fy, and that is opposite. So we are using sine is your fy over, and this is your f 6 Newton fy over f. Okay, so if we multiply both sides, we'll get this formula. We'll get this formula. And then f is 6 Newton times sine 28.5 degree. And then again use Desmos. Okay, this is exactly same concept. Use Desmos and calculate that value. You will get 2.86 Newton. The correct choice is C. Correct choice is C. Now let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk a little bit about vector addition and subtraction. Okay, I'll explain from the figure and then I'll read those 2 points and explain it. So first, let us suppose we do have 2 vectors A and B and we want to add them. Okay. First step, align the tail of the second vector B, tail of the second vector B to the head of the first vector A. Okay. So we aligned here like that. And then if you are adding more than 2 vectors, then add all the 8 to tail, exact same process. Draw all vectors to scale and maintain their original direction. Always make sure to maintain their original direction. Note that the order of addition does not matter. Order does not matter. Draw arrow from the tail of the first vector, to the head of the final vector. Tail of the first vector is here and head of the final vector is here. And this arrow is the resultant vector. You can see here, this arrow is the resultant vector. So in that way, we can add those two or more than 2 vectors and find the resultant vector. Now let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk a little bit about vector subtraction. Okay. Let me get my pen again here. Okay. So this time we do have 2 vectors, A and B. Okay. First step, we have to rotate vector B. We are subtracting vector B from vector A. So that means we'll rotate vector B exactly 180 degrees so that the direction of vector B will be opposite, okay, in opposite direction. And note that when subtracting vector, the order of subtraction does matter. So here we don't want to flip A, okay, we want to flip vector B, not vector A. Okay. Now second step, align the tail of the rotated vector tail of the rotated vector. Let's check it out. Tail of the rotated vector. Tail of the rotated vector. The head of the vector sorry, this one is head of the vector A. Vector A. Draw an arrow from the tail of the first vector A. This is our first vector A to the head of the rotated vector, head of the rotated vector B. And this arrow is the resultant vector. So this arrow is the resultant vector. So in that way, we can subtract two or more than two vectors. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, now let me read this problem. Okay, in this problem also we have to find horizontal and vertical components of force. So let's go through this problem. A force of 10 newtons acts an angle of 20 degrees from the vertical. What are the horizontal and vertical components of force? Okay, let me draw the diagram and then we'll work on this problem. This problem can be a little bit confusing. Okay, it makes 20 degree to the, okay, let us suppose this angle is 20 degree. Okay, don't go to my diagram. Okay, so this is a straight line. I'll make like that. 10 Newton force at an angle. So this is a 10 force is your 10 Newton. And then we do a 20 degree. Well, now in this case, what are the horizontal and vertical components of force? Okay. So whenever we want to find out components, we always, at first, we always want to find the direction. The direction is from horizontal axis, okay, or from the x-axis. So in this case, I want to find the angle that force makes to the horizontal direction, this angle. So if it is 20, this is your right angle, so it's 70 degree. Now horizontal component, it will always grab cosine theta. Vertical component, it will always grab sine theta. So horizontal, I'll write horizontal component. Component is equal to, that is your force, and then cosine 70 degree. Force is your 10 times cosine 70 degree, and again use Desmos and calculate that value. So let me see, that value is how much? 3.42 Newton. 42 Newton. So in that way, you can calculate horizontal component. Let's calculate vertical component. Vertical component is force times sine of that angle. So that is your force is your 10 and then sine 70 degree. That is equal to 9.39 Newton. And use again Desmos to calculate that value. So the correct choice is B here. So in that way, you can find out horizontal and vertical component. We go to next slide. So now we'll start describing motion in 2 dimension. Okay, and then some of the concepts from this new lesson we have already covered. Okay, we have already covered. So this is similar to the previous lesson. So the objective of this lesson is you'll describe the motion of particle in 2 dimension, given function for its motion in the x and y direction over time. So we'll have a function, we'll resolve the function in x as well as y direction over the time. So that is the goal of this lesson. Okay, so let's check it out where we can use the concept of motion in 2 dimension. Okay, so 1 dimensional motion always occur either in horizontal or vertical direction, but 2 dimensional motion occurs at an angle from x-axis and y-axis. Okay, and then this angle gives 2 different components to a motion. Let us suppose, let's look to this diagram. Okay, let's look to this diagram. Here you can see that that person is skateboarding at an angle of theta to the horizontal. Okay, you can see that one. To find here, to describe the motion of that person, we have to find the x as well as y component of force or velocity that that plays uh, that plays in that system. Okay, you can think in that way. Now let's talk about components of velocity at first, and then we'll summarize everything, and then we'll work on some of the problem. Sine of theta is side opposite over hypotenuse. You already know that. And here, if we want to resolve vector to x component as well as y component, then we'll get this figure. So this bx is your uh, x component of velocity, by is y component of velocity. So in that way, sine theta is your opposite over hypotenuse. Similarly, cosine theta and tangent theta. And then in our trigonometry sine theta, if we multiply both sides by b, we'll get by is your b sine theta. Similarly, bx is equal to b cosine theta. And to find out resultant velocity b, we have to use Pythagorean theorem. So b is your square root of bx square plus by square. And then last one, to find the direction theta, we'll use tangent theta. And if we take inverse on both sides here, theta is your tan inverse by over bx. Okay. Similarly, I put everything here in summary. You can see here to calculate magnitude and direction for displacement, velocity, and acceleration. You can use those different formulas. Okay, you can add those as your reference. Okay. Now let's work on some of the problem. If Bx is your 0.40 meters per second and By is 3 meters per second, what is the value of theta? So here we are calculating theta. This problem is straightforward. Let's check it out. So theta is your tan inverse By over Bx. Okay, let's use that. So we are calculating angle theta, that is your tan inverse By over Bx. Let's substitute those values. Tan inverse By is 30, 0.40. Okay. Now let's find that angle. Okay, we have to calculate tan inverse 3 over 0.40. Again, we'll use Desmos. Okay. Okay, I'll keep it. Let's use Desmos. Okay. Okay, I forgot that. Let's tan inverse 3 over 0.40. Go to function. Go to tan inverse. And then it was 3.00 divided by 0.40. So we got 82.40. That is in degree. Okay, make sure to change your setting to degree. 82.40, and that is approximately equal to 82 degree. So let me write that one. 82.40 that is approximately equal to 82 degree. So in that way we can find out theta. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay. The question is, a train is chugging up a hill that has a 27% grade, which means that for every 100 meters it covers, which means that for every 100 meters it covers horizontally, it rises 27 meters. What is the angle of inclination? Okay, let's do that problem. So to solve this problem, let me make the diagram. Okay, horizontal. So we do it covers 100 meters horizontally, rises 27 meters, 27 meters. So we got a right angle triangle like that, and we have to find out this angle. So you can see here 27 is opposite, right, like that. 100 meter is adjacent. This is adjacent, sorry. Now, if we have opposite and adjacent, we'll use tan theta to calculate that angle, okay? So tan theta is your, opposite is your 27, adjacent is your 100. And to calculate angle by itself, you have to take inverse. Theta is your tan inverse 27 over 100. Okay. And then again use the same process and calculate 10 inverse 27 over 100. That would be nearly equal to 15.1 degree. So the correct choice is B. In that way, you can calculate the angle of inclination. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay, let me read that problem and then I'll work on this problem. If B is equal to 5 meter per second and is inclined equally to the negative direction of the x-axis and y-axis, what is the value of By? So this is B of x and this is By. Okay, so as we know that By is your B sine that angle is 45 degree here. Okay, that angle sine 45 degree. But here you can either use B sine negative 45 degree or you can just write By is equal to negative B sine 45 degree because here the direction of By is downward. Okay, so and then velocity is vector quantity, so we have to always consider the direction. Now let's substitute all those values. Negative B is 5.00 sine 45 degree. And again use Desmos and calculate that value. You will get negative 3.53 and unit for velocity is meters per second. Correct choice is A. Okay. Now let me go to the next slide. Okay. So today we have finished 2 lessons. Those were vectors in 2 dimension and describing motion in 2 dimension. I'll be very excited to see you in my live lesson. Please make sure to attend my live lesson. Okay, and keep working. Have a great day. Thank you very much.